Jared, as always, we appreciate your time, and we've come to learn a lot about you and talking with you after games. And one thing that you look back at games after you've watched the film, and oftentimes it feels like it's never as good as you think after wins, and never as bad as you think after losses. So, what do you think upon further reflection of that game, Philly?
Yeah, just not good enough by us offensively. Just finding ways to finish drives. I do think we moved the ball pretty well at times up and down the field. Had quite a bit of yards. Just didn't do well on critical downs, third and fourth down, and converting in the red zone, and that typically gets you beat.
Was it something that they did, or are you more? No, it wasn't. Okay,
no, but I don't want to take anything away from them. They're a damn good team and a good defense, and did a good job. But it was mostly us shooting ourselves in the foot. I got to play better and put the ball where it needs to be, and our guys, other guys on offense, know that they need to be better too.
There were 5 passes that were batted down the line of scrimmage. Where does the batted pass at the line of scrimmage rank among quarterback frustrations?
Yeah, right as high as it gets. Pretty high, and they did a good job of that, man. That was part of their plan, clearly, and it worked. And you got to tip your cap.
How do you combat that? I mean, obviously Jordan Davis is 6'6". He's a bit of a monster out there, and other guys in that line have height and length as well. You as a quarterback, and you're 6'5", how do you combat that next time around?
I don't know. I think that there's certain ways where you can anticipate where their hands are going to be and try to avoid that, but that's hard. I mean, that's really hard to do in the moment. But I guess there's certain things that you can do to kind of get them off of the scent of a quick game throw or the ball coming out of your hands that quickly. And typically, when they get one, they're looking for the second one. They get the second one, they're looking for the third one. So it's a little bit of a domino effect there.
We took calls on the glove, and I know after the game you said it wasn't the glove. You warm up with the glove on. Can you explain to the fans how you get a level of comfort and why you don't think it's a big deal?
Yeah, I've been wearing them for a while. I've had some of my best games wearing them. I think when it's cold or windy and it's a little dry out, it helps me a lot. But no, I think it's funny that in games that go well, it doesn't get asked about. But no, I understand. It's we didn't play well. I didn't play well, so it's got to be better.
Yeah, I think there's probably a misconception because people don't have access to the same gloves that a quarterback would have. It's not like you're out there with some leather gloves that you would wear in the wintertime or some isotoners that Dan Marino gifted you. I mean, it's a different glove altogether. Can you kind of describe what it's like to wear one of these compared to a normal glove that somebody might wear off the street?
They're made for football, obviously, and I've been wearing them for 10 years now, and when it gets cold, and I think it helps me.
All right, so you and Amon-Ra have been one of the best combinations in the NFL over the last couple of years, and something just looks or feels a bit off. Is that a product of what teams are doing defensively to try and take Amon-Ra away?
I don't think anything feels off except for this past week. I thought I was off trying to get him the ball, and he's playing well, man. I got to find ways to get it to him in space and be a bit more accurate in some of those instances. I have been in my career, so not something I'm worried about. But last week was a little bit off, and prior to that, I don't think there's been any issue.
No Sam Laporta for a few games. It's a blow to the offense. How does that affect things when you compare what his strengths and weaknesses are to compare to what Brock Wright's strengths and weaknesses are, or other players that are going to have to pick up the slack? What ends up changing here?
Yeah, it's a tough void to fill for the time being, but we've got guys who we feel like can do it, and we'll move some things around if we have to, and that'll be up to the coaches. But Sam's a big part of our team, and we will certainly miss him for the time he's out.
Against the Eagles, I mean, you did throw for over 250 yards passing. A lot of that, I think, was yards after a catch. What's the key to getting those routes to work where you free the guys up and get them free to get an extra 20, 30, 40 yards downfield?
Yeah, we got really good skill players, and I try to do my best to put it in front of them where they can run with it after the catch. And I think if we get these guys in space, man, it's pretty dangerous. And we did do that a few times. Certainly Gibbs had a couple of those. And, it's a big part of our offense, and we need to find ways to do it.
One of the very positive developments is the play of your defense. And you've said a couple times about how the offense has to be better. When you guys get better, coupled with this defense, what is the ceiling for this team?
Yeah, sure, man. We got everything in front of us. Our defense is playing great. They're doing a hell of a job. They've really played great all year. and some of the games that we've lost, it hasn't been on them. We need to be better on offense in some of these games and find ways to score points and put ourselves in a lead too. I think that helps them even more. They're playing well and get us a 2 or 3 touchdown lead and watch them go then. So yeah, we'll be better and certainly urgency to do that.
Giants on Sunday, they've got a very competent defensive line. You guys aren't getting much of a break in that regard for a while. I mean, this is just how the NFL is. But what's the key to unlocking your offense against teams that are so good up front?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any special key to that. I think you want to block well, you want to run the ball well, you want to protect well, and that's kind of versus anybody. I don't care if that's this defensive front or some other defense. These guys are good certainly, and our O-line's good, and I know they'll play well.
You're a leader on this team. When you talk to your teammates about what's next, are you so wrapped up in the moment of the next game, or are you guys aware of things like the standings and where you stand right now in the league race, and do you talk about those things?
You really don't. Of course, you're aware of where things are, but if you're not focused on the next game, none of that matters. So you can't really try to ride that roller coaster of week to week where you stand, where you don't stand, and just try to win the one in front of you.
Got 2 games coming up basically in 10 days, and soon it'll be 2 and 4. Is any time before Sunday against the Giants dedicated to the Packers game, or is it all just prep work for the Giants?
All Giants.
And I was just going to say, because you get the short week, and then it's really, you're up against it when you're preparing for the Packers as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and so are they. So that's everyone's short week, and that's Thanksgiving here, and that's the life we live. And part of it, our coaches are certainly working ahead, but us players are onto the Giants.
So, we talked to fans yesterday, and there were some panicked calls, people really concerned. Do you have a message to the fans that are really worried about where this team is right now?
No, man, we got everything in front of us. We're just fine. We're 6 and 4. Obviously, wanted to get that W last week, but we didn't. Didn't do enough to win, and everything in front of us. Got some time to be home now for a few games, and hopefully get on a little bit of a stretch here. But it starts with the Giants.
Yeah, with the 3 straight home games, can you kind of articulate the real advantages of not having to travel for a while here?
Yeah, it's nice. I do think it's nice. We have been on some of these nighttime road games, which get you home at 4 a.m. and can be tough to recover from, but it's no excuse. A lot of teams deal with it, and now being home and not having to deal with that will be nice. And being in front of our fans, feeling a little bit of their juice and get a little bit of momentum from them, that'll be great. And again, we got to find a way to win and get back on that winning streak and build from there.
Now that you're a Manningcast veteran, I was curious about Monday Night Football viewing. Do you watch the Manningcast now, or do you feel obligated to, or do you just watch a regular broadcast of Monday Night Football?
It depends. Last night I didn't watch either, but it depends. If a team's playing that is in our division or something where it matters, I'll watch it. And yeah, I'll kind of bounce back and forth from both broadcasts.
Jared, we appreciate your time. Good luck this week preparing for the Giants, and we'll talk again next week.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Jared.
There he is, Jared Goff, quarterback of the Detroit Lions, for our weekly conversation here on 97.1.